Hey, it's Refreshing Truth, and this is Khari. We're back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about how our tools in our world, they can be used for good or evil. And I happened to come across this video about AI. It said free in the title. You know, I had to check it out. And as a nerd, you know, I was a little bit interested. And as I got into the video, it started taking a weird turn, and I wanted to bring it all back to the Bible. So let's take a look. So we're gonna be starting this video at like the 38-second mark, and it's gonna quickly take a weird turn, but let's get into the normal stuff first.
So, what is SDXL 0.9 and what makes it so special? Well, first, as most of you already know, Stable Diffusion is an open source text-to-image AI model that allows you to generate images from text, exactly like DALL-E 2 or Midjourney. However, compared to Midjourney, Stable Diffusion is not only open source, meaning that anybody can contribute to the project, but it's also 100% free and unlocked, meaning that you can generate images of anything you want without any restriction, for better or for worse. And it's usually for worse. Oh god. In this new Stable
It's like, what did he say? It's like you can generate images for anything, and you're like, oh wow, that would be really cool, right? And then he's like, and I mean anything, or whatever he says, and it goes to this like blurred screen, and you're like, that's not what I was thinking at all. You know, I was watching the video, I'm like, oh, free AI, like I could make a lot of cool thumbnails and like, you know, generate them. I don't know what I would do, but you know, I could make a lot of cool things with free AI pictures or whatever. And it's just this, it immediately went in like a sexual direction. It's like, why? Why is that the first thing that comes to people's minds when we think about our tools? And you know, I was just thinking about like all the benefits that this could bring, and then it immediately gets dumped. And there's so many things in our world that are like that, where we're like, oh, I don't know, y'all know what I'm saying. It's just like, hey, this was a good thing, and then you like completely took it a different direction, like, let's not even go there type of thing. You know, you really have to guard your heart. It's like there's so many things that we do with good intentions that could easily go sideways if we start thinking about it the wrong way. And like, I was just thinking, like, it's so easy to fall into, well, let's just take it where it's at right now. It's so easy to go into like a graphic route with things. Just, hey, I just wanted to look up this video, and then you see an ad on the side, and you're like, oh, that could, you know, and it's like, don't even go there. Like, sadly, even like sites that are safe, you know, you still get ads that you don't want, and you're like, why do I have to see this everywhere I go? Driving down the road or wherever you are, you're always getting hit with ads on the screen, on TV, on your streaming sites. Just any ad is pretty bad nowadays, and it's like, it's hard to avoid. And since you can't avoid it, the other thing is to be ready for it. It doesn't even have to be a trial at some level. You can just be like, hey, this is not something I should be watching, you know, look away, skip it, do what you got to do to avoid sin. And it just was just eye-opening to like, hey, I was just watching this video to see what cool stuff people could do with AI. Like, you saw the pictures with the aliens and whatnot. You're like, you know, I could probably do something pretty funny, like insert myself into I don't know, if we go along with the alien, I could recreate the moon landing with me and my friends or something. But it's like, no, immediately goes down in the dumpster. But there was another part of the video that I actually wanted to get into, and it was kind of more in depth into this, just how quickly it falls, because he was comparing it to this new AI, to the midjourney AI, and he was like, this is one of the big benefits. I don't even need to show it, but it was like, hey, this is one of the big benefits. You can make images of anything. And it was just talking about like just basically generating girls for yourself, and it was insane. And I'm like, is that really what we're doing with our time? It's just like, you can just go and get married and experience that for yourself in real life, instead of like trying to take all these shortcuts. And let's just take another quick look at like what you could be doing with it versus, you know, what it's gonna kind of get used for also.
But also at the same time, this is only the base model, meaning that once the model will be released to the public and the community will get their hands on it, they're gonna make it even better. And we're gonna talk about that later in the video, because for this there are definitely really good news. So how about we have some fun and generate a few images and compare them to Midjourney. So how about we use some of the examples that they give on the website, like for example this one looks really good, and it gives you these 4 amazing images, which I mean, again, I gotta say it looks really good. I mean, the quality of the details, the resolution, the lighting, the coherence, it looks really good.
And if you look at the images, they look pretty realistic, honestly. I think, I don't know what I would use these dog pictures for, but it's just cool that they could be generated. They look pretty realistic to me. I didn't see any problems with them. They didn't have any too weird of features or anything like some of the past AI, but it's like, you know, this thing could be used for something fun, something good. I don't know, you could do all types of dumb things. A horse with the legs of a frog or something, you know. But it's like, why does it have to go there? And it's just like, we have to be in control of our actions. We have to be in the Word, reminding ourselves of truths when these thoughts start coming up, or just the different trials that we go through. We need to be prepared and ready for them, because we're going to keep getting bombarded with this stuff. And, you know, right now it's like, this is a side effect of this AI, but eventually we're going to be, well, we're already kind of there. You know, you get, there's like the new AI girlfriend apps and all this stuff. It's like, you're just being bombarded with these types of ads. Like, hey, you can just use AI for this purpose. And there will be some type of image generation that is specifically for taking care of whatever fantasies you have, you know? And it's like, we're gonna need the strength, we're gonna need the truth within us to say no to that stuff, and to know that it's not what we need in our lives. That you know, God designed marriage, or sex, to be inside of marriage. So if that's something we would desire, then that's something that we should do. We should follow the steps that we know is keeping us on that narrow path to Jesus. So that's what we're gonna have to do. And I did want to go to some verses, so let's take a look. So let's take a look at Matthew 5:28. It's one that we all pretty much know, but I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. And it's kind of along this same line. If you're already, if you go to this AI already with these thoughts like, hey, I'm about to look up whatever fantasy or whatever you're doing, you're already committing adultery. You're seeking out the lust in your heart, you know. And these desires, the desire to get married is not bad. The desire to have sex is not bad if it's in the proper context. and how it was how it was designed from the beginning, how God designed it from the beginning. So don't distort it. There's always going to be people around you that you're attracted to, whatever. But when it hits that next step of imagining and lust and fantasy and all this, it's already hitting the adultery level. So if we got to reel ourselves back, we got to be in control of our thoughts and our actions. So let's take a look at Galatians 5. This is verse 16, 17. But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other, to keep you from doing the things you want to do. So walk by the Spirit. Make sure that when you're tempted, that you go back to the Word, that you remember the truths, that you would equip yourself to remember the truths, and then that you would remember the truths and then submit to those, so that we can continue on that narrow path, so that we don't give in to our fleshly desires of quick fixes and just our lust that we have. And again, there's a designated avenue for all of this stuff with your wife and your husband. So let's keep it in that. And I kind of just wanted to bring it back to, we're always going to continue to be tempted in this world. And even if we're doing something that seems good at first, there's always these little things that are slipped in, whether, I don't know, it could just be a simple thing. Hey, I'm going on a road trip. I can't remember, but I saw this quote about how many ads we see throughout the day. And so we're always going to be bombarded with ads. We're always going to see somebody that we might be attracted to. We're always going to see the movie ad where they highlight these things that they shouldn't, and that's how they're trying to bring people in. We're always going to meet these people that are promiscuous, and we're always going to have some type of trial that we're going to have to go through. And it's, are you going to be walking by the Spirit, or are you going to give in? And so just a reminder that we need to guard our hearts, that we need to be diligent, we need to be in control, and just being on the lookout, hey, this is going to spiral into a place that I don't want to be. Let me just turn it off for a second, recollect, then maybe I can go back into it. Take a second, stop what I'm doing, pray, and be like, hey, maybe I don't need to do this right now, or maybe you can continue. We're all on different levels with these things, but especially if you're already struggling, don't continue in a spot that's gonna cause you to fall. And also, if you need to be strengthened, go to your brothers and sisters in your church and your family and wherever they may be. Just come back to your brothers and sisters and be reminded of the truth and the strength that God gives you to overcome the trials and the temptations in our life. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a comment. We want to know what you thought about it. And support us. Hit the like, subscribe, and check out our podcast. We're trying to empower the body to do the Lord's work better. See you in the next one.